6, Dead End. Amazing title, because it was a dead end. That was the main... Okay. Also, amazing song. Liam put the song in the start as a distorted version. The song is Eternal Dream. It's amazing. And then at the very end, it plays Eternal Dream, which was chef's kiss, honestly. Anyway, so in episode 6, they go down to Cabin Fever Labs to find out who are infected.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's some signs that Tessa isn't really Tessa because she's
using both her hands with the same exact skill when she was right-handed in episode 5.
So they go down. They need to find a secret elevator, and they find that secret elevator. But then, unfortunately, there are raptors going around. They look like the Jurassic Park blue velociraptors, which I think is really funny. Unfortunately, Tessa cannot control them, even though she's...
humaning all over the place.
Again, smart horror protagonist. They hear a baby laughing in the hall, and let me just play the clip.
Shoot the baby immediately.
Kill the baby.
Kill the baby. Oh yeah. So they get kidnapped, and they use by this thing that Jay uses in the pilot episode during the fight, which I think is a very interesting weapon. Props to Liam for making a cool weapon and using it again.
Yeah, and they also show like a lot of disassembly drone corpses.
We're getting such a good grade.
I am not taking this seriously enough.
So they get kidnapped by Alice, my spirit animal, and she locks them all up and straps them down and wants to like get some special pieces from them. She wants to do something with V because she's a disassembly drone, and apparently she's done it a lot before.
Hence why there's so many corpses.
Pores in her oven.
No, she just stole their hearts.
It turns out Alice knows Uzi's mom, Nori, and apparently Nori did something crazy before the core collapsed. He mentions left them to die.
You're a lot like her, I'll say. Except your yellow eyes. Easy, creep. You got the wrong... Nori, right? Sure thought killing all them folks was pretty slick.
Then the gang is trying to escape, and Tessa tries to tame the sentinel, and she orders it to be a nice dingo. That doesn't work because this is not Jurassic Park. It bites her, and then it gets a little error. I'll show. It glitches between eliminate target and be a nice dingo because it's confused. It sees blood, human blood, obviously. But then we also get a spoiler that Tessa is not really Tessa because we see a worker drone kind of wrist. Mm-hmm. It's clearly metal. I don't know why more people did not notice that.
Kind of looked like bone. You gotta give them credit.
It kind of looked like bone or like blood streaks around it. Solver takes over Uzi while she sees N being thrown around by a sentinel because he escaped with Tessa. And V gets concerned because she knows Sin is taking over already. But they manage to escape, they're running. But while they come to like the elevator place, sentinels are surrounding them. Uzi tries to use her solver, but clearly Sin is like trying to take over her.
Mm-hmm.
So both V and N are really concerned. N obviously knows that something's up. V knows that this is Sin. V makes a little like redemption for herself. She's like, play the clip, I guess.
Hey, Nah, Uzi, I trust you. Hey,
The bum does something.
She's not a bum.
Okay, so episode 7. What was that called again? Mass Disruption. This episode, we open up with the crew crashing down because the elevator failed.
Oh yeah, and N crashes out because V is, died off screen. Valid crash out, actually.
So Tessa, she has been tasking N with killing Uzi because she, quote unquote, has to die because it's a danger to the universe. To quote it from her, you have to choose the world over one drone. And
plot twist, she was his world. Ooh, Riz. Isn't that so?
That's such a good line, but like, real? Oh my god. But Uzi panics and creates a cave-in. And now the group is split up. Then Tessa somehow disappears from N, and Sin appears, taking the form of V.
V's house.
Like a dress.
Maid outfit.
So show the clip.
I missed you, Ren.
I knew I jumped from those caves there.
No, you're one of the main reasons I wanted to return to retain your first happiness. You always surprise me. Not up to do anything.
And as you can see here, you can also see for a second that on the screen it says access denied, contact admin, darkx wolf 17. After this, we see Tessa operating some stuff, checking some files, and causing a dramatic explosion, which she walks away from. And then Doll appears, trying to get information about the patch, was it?
Yeah. Oh, and also, the first clue we get to Tessa not being Tessa is that she can speak Russian. Who in the world? What Australian knows Russian? Anyway, Doll gets FNAF jump scared. So we know that Tessa jump scared her and is something else.
Something else entirely. N is saved by Nori, Uzi's presumed to be dead mother.
But she is in the form of a core.
A core.
Which is equivalent to the human heart, I guess, but they can move around because plot reasons.
Robot. And yeah, and also gets a flashback and J and V eating humans. Yummy.
Which shows that they killed humans on Earth.
Uzi has managed to make it to the cathedral, and at the cathedral, Uzi sees some videos and goes full panic mode. And this is the time where Tessa manages to make the ripe appearance and tries to kill.
Also, Doll makes an appearance. Don't forget Doll.
Yeah, Doll makes a corpse appearance, urging Uzi, fight back.
And then we see that Tessa's wrist is healed somehow, even though she got bit and slashed her wrist just like 2 minutes ago in canon. But it's totally fine. So we know. So Tessa comes and just kind of kills her. And then there's a fight scene going on while Tessa's head is just rolling around on the ground. While Sin possesses Uzi, and then there's a fight between Uzi and a Nori. Nori being just a core, but somehow she's doing more damage than N. Because Sin is kind of manipulating, and because he doesn't really want to kill Uzi.
And Sin is fighting like Uzi wants to die. It's like...
Yeah.
Sin is trying to get Uzi killed.
Yes, because we know that Sin will live on. We're not really sure if Uzi will regenerate. And then so a little fight scene happens. Somehow managed to trigger Nori enough so that Nori slaps the solver out of
Slaps
Uzi.
the Sin out.
They get so shocked that, the solver just goes out of her body. Play the clip.
Bloody dormant. Those things killed your freaking mother!
Even Sin was shocked to the core.
A little hug happens. That's really cute, but then Sinessa comes back, puts her head back on, and then it jump scares them, and then drags their dumb, and then Uzi sacrifices herself for N. Why he did not crash out there and then? I don't know. Okay, we've been recording for a while and we're really tired, so let's just sum up episode 8. Yeah. Episode 8 starts with N. From episode 7, he got the keys. Uzi was throwing the keys, whatever. And so he gets in a spaceship. He picks up Uzi after she has a little pep talk with her mom. And they go to the planet, which is now being kind of destroyed. There's a big-ass hole in it, and there's, like, stuff and debris falling all around. And they're falling through the sky. Cute moment. And then Jay is also here. V comes back somehow. Hallelujah.
Somehow V returned.
V returned with Sparky, which is the Sentinel's name. She has a little fight with Jay, and we find out that Jay actually was aware of stuff. V also was tricked. She didn't know Sin that was controlling. Jay knew more. So Jay knew the most. V knew something. She had a bit of her memories. N just didn't know much, probably because Sin knew that N would freak out if he knew stuff. But she traumatized Jay and V enough so that they wouldn't say anything. And also, V admits in the episode that she was just scared to tell him. But before that, there's a fight scene. Sin tries to, kill both Uzi and N because they're trying to destroy her plans of
world destruction.
Very dramatic fight scene. Uzi almost dies. She has her core almost ripped out. Same thing with N.
N dies almost like 5 times.
First, he almost dies because Sin is clawing at his chest and chanting, "Let me in," which is very disturbing. And sadly, we find out later when they're still running away that he gets a panic attack, or it's like a PTSD attack almost, from that scenario, because then we learn that Sin used to do that to him while in the mansion. when she was lobotomizing him and reprogramming him. This could also be a flashback to her making him a disassembly drone, because now that she's not trying to remove his memories, he's got them back through Uzi helping him. It seems to calm down until Sin makes a little hologram of N when V crashes into the place that they're hiding. V admits to N that she's really sorry and that Tessa is Sin, which we already know. N tries to save her, but he reveals his location, and Sin rips his heart out. Fun.
Again.
And in episode 1, Khan closes the door on Uzi. He closes the door to protect himself, but in the last episode, he uses a controller again to close the door, but this time it's to save N, which is character development, you know?
We love Khan.
He's still a bum.
No, we love the bums.
And then there's just a fight scene going on, and clearly Sin is not taking this seriously at all, or Sin/the Solver. They fight a little. Uzi rips out Sin's core, because that's how you permanently kill them. She creates kind of like a black hole. There's some drama. She eats the black hole, and then everything's kind of fine.
Kinda.
Then we go back, and the hero's journey thing is back up. Except forget about all of this insanity, get tunnel vision by spooky corpse robot reveal, work backwards from there. Amazing storytelling, amazing writing.
Yeah, and it also returns because at the start it's the hero's journey and presentation, and it ends with the hero's journey and presentation.
Yes.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it. Visual storytelling, Sin. So I'm going to talk about Sin and how her design shows a lot about her character, and she's characterized just through her design. Now, she's a very good example of this in Murder Drones. Liam, the creator, is very good at this. Sin is, of course, I'm just going to go over Sin's character first. Sin is mentioned multiple times and shown in a flashback, but we are only really introduced to her in episode 5. And one of the first things you notice is the fact that she is disabled. Whether that be her voice, which is extremely robotic, even for a drone, and or her broken posture, and the fact she crawls. Just based on these few visual keys, you can easily tell that she is far more broken than all the other drones. And this is just an example of the visual storytelling in Murder Drones. Now, a key factor to Sin's character is that she looks up to Tessa in many varying aspects. And we can also see this through her design as Sin's hairstyle is just Tessa's, but inverted. And all these things like her looking up to Tessa and her disability, we can just see based off how she looks in her design, and this helps her personality and character be a lot more enjoyable, while also just letting us fill in the gaps without needing to state, oh, Sin is disabled.
She's not disabled, she's just differently able.
She's multi-abled.
Embracing her robotic side.
She's just true to herself.
She hasn't fallen for the human propaganda.
She doesn't have Stockholm Syndrome. Now, Sin's design only gets better. Now, of course, Sin has a later appearance, episode 7 and 8 specifically, and this also illustrates the extent to Sin's obsession with wanting to be like Tessa, because she literally wears her skin.
Or her body.
Or just insert herself to the body. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's pretty creepy. So Sin is a skin pill maxer.
What?
Now, another part of Sin's design is her yellow eyes. She is the only character with yellow eyes, excluding, of course, the disassembly drones. But 100% of all the characters with yellow eyes are affected by Sin in one way or another.
Or the Solver.
Or the Solver. And you can see this.
But they're basically one. So
yeah,
it's
they're basically one. And when Sin, or in moments where the Solver takes control, often you can see just yellow hints, or Uzi, example in episode 6, her eyes turn yellow. Or in episode 7, in the big fight scene, her eyes turn yellow because Sin is taking control. That is visual storytelling.
So Sin and the religious stuff. So Sin, C-Y-N, could be an analogy or kind of metaphor for sin, S-I-N. And I think this is hinted at or joked about in episode 7, obviously with the Catholic cathedral looking thing. But also the way that the solver has kind of like corrupted her, but as our kind of headcanon, because you can interpret it in many ways, but we think that Sin was aware that the solver took over her and that, she just doesn't really care. She's not fighting back. So it's both Sin and the solver acting as Sin. But anyway, since people are affected by the solver and they have this kind of solver gene as they were being experimented on at the cathedral, it can be a metaphor of, sin and like almost demonic things because of, as Tessa said, corrupted and damaged AI. Also possession of bodies. During the fight scene in episode 7, Uzi was clearly not herself and it was just Sin messing around.
Yeah, Sin taking over bodies like a possession.
Yeah, so and not to like go into like spiritual stuff, but people who have been recorded being demon possessed are actively, throwing themselves and cutting themselves. So, it goes a bit deep there. Obviously, you don't have to interpret it that way, but if you look at it, it could be, talking about some deeper stuff. Anyway, the possession of the bodies happens in high stakes or high emotion scenarios as we see in the show. And we think that the solver activates after like a traumatic experience. We can assume that Doll got her solver gene activated when she saw her parents get mauled by V. And Uzi didn't really have her solver until I think the nanite acid and healing that nanite acid burn kind of ticked off something that made her solver gene like activate, as we see in episode 1, and then it starts glitching in episode 2. And it really activates in episode 3 when Doll shoots them and she stops the bullet. That's when she truly has control over her solver.
It's okay, let's move on to our favorite deadbeat. Or at least my favorite deadbeat. I don't know about you.
I hate him.
I love him. He's so cool. Now, Khan Dorman is the father to Uzi Dorman, the main character, the angsty teen. And now, Khan is many things. He is famous and kind of respected by the people, as you can see him on thousands of billboards.
Thousands of billboards.
Okay, like 5, but like there's only 5 billboards. Still 100%. And now, Khan's obsession with his work has made him neglect his daughter, and of course he's quite the workaholic, and his neglect causes him to neglect Uzi. And now this can be best seen when instead of grabbing the railgun and shooting him, he decides to close the door on Uzi to presumably save himself and the rest of the group. Now this causes a breakdown eventually after Uzi and then come back and save the day. It causes Uzi to have an emotional breakdown in front of Khan and exile herself. And only here realizes Khan that, oh shit, I have done a bad job of parenting this kid. I'm a bad parent. And he kind of attempts to make change throughout the series. And he does make change. And this can be best seen in episode 8 when he has the ability to use the same device to close another door. But he closes it this time to save N. So instead of trying to save himself, or he saves another person, which is character development. We love you, Khan. Yeah, okay. Now we're at the best initial, aka J. Now, J is one of the assembly drones, and it's the one who dies in the first episode. Go final girl. Now, she clearly has some problems, which she is not addressing. And
are we sensing a pattern here in favorite characters?
What do you mean?
Continue.
She's not, she has a lot of problems, which she is not addressing, and she's like overly loyal to corporate. Now, why is she this? Why is she like this? Well, I believe that before, in episode 5, she was pretty close to Tessa. She was like always around her and helping her all the time. I believe that, in a way, Tessa's loss significantly scarred Jane. And to cope with the loss, she drowned herself in work and became a workaholic person, just as a form of escapism, to not think about the fact, oh, my best friend of entirety of my life just died. Now, I believe she's overly loyal to corporate because she was such close with Tessa, and she views corporate as an extension of Tessa. And which is why when Sin comes back wearing her flesh, she still stays loyal because she thinks there's probably a hint of Tessa back in there, and she has nowhere else to go.
That's deep.
That's my interpretation, though.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.